right, so most of you that watch these lesson videos know how consistent I am about putting out lesson content. I've been doing this every Friday for about 12 years now, and I never miss. Well, on occasion I'll miss. Sometimes I'll be sick or something, but it's pretty rare. And so I've been doing it for all these years, and I put the same amount of effort into each one. And when I do this, I write a song. I write a little composition. Sometimes it's got a jam track with it. Sometimes it's just a fun little standalone thing. But some of the lessons will take off and do really well. And I never know which ones are gonna do that. Every 2 or 3 months I'll have one that just really takes off, and I don't know why. And I have some that have got 3 and 4 million views, and I have no idea why that is. Like, why would that lesson be that popular? I watch it and I go, was it something I said? Was it something? Was it the song? What was it? And I can never figure that out. So anyway, part of what I also do, in addition to these big full lessons, which are all designed to help you improvise, is I create these micro lessons. Some of you may not even know about that. I haven't talked about them in a while. I have a whole section of Active Melody with over 100 now. It's activemelody.com/micro, so you can go to that URL and check those out. But they're just short little, some of them are little compositions with no talking, just tab and video. Some people like to learn that way. And then some of them are, short instructional with talking. But anyway, I have a few of those that have taken off as well. And what I wanted to do for this week's lesson was go into one of those micro lessons. We're going to take a look at one called Acoustic Country Blues. Real clever title, I know, but anyway, it's ML086. It was one I did back in 2022, but it was super popular, and it continues to get views. So it was popular on TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter. Everything that I posted it on, it did really well. Lots of comments, lots of views. So I have several that are like that. And what I thought would be fun would be to go back to the well, which I never do. I've never done this. And take that lesson, since there was no video instruction that went with it, and since it was popular, why don't I do that? Why don't I take that and make a video and explain where all the notes are coming from? Break it all down. You'll have all the tablature for it and everything in this video. So let me just play a little bit of that, just so you can get the vibe and see where we're going with it, and then we'll talk more. Okay, so we're going to take that and we're going to break it down. I'm going to show you where all the notes come from so that you can take this concept and you can improvise using these ideas. That's really the value add. And then you got this cool little thing you can play. Now, in addition, this is something else I've never done. I'm going to create a part 2 and make that available to premium members. So it's the same chord structure, but I've extended the song. Now, instead of it being 1 minute, it's like a 2-minute song. And I go through the whole cycle again with a whole different set of ideas. So let me play you some of that so you can hear that. So if you'd like to get the tablature for all of this, the part 1 and the part 2 video, all of the lesson material, both videos, the on-screen tab viewer, all of those extra materials for this lesson, you can get all of that by going to activemelody.com, go to the weekly lessons page and do a search for EP583. Okay, so this song is in the key of E. And it's just a 1-4-5, meaning your 1 chord is an E, your 5 chord, which is the next chord we're going to go to, is your B, or B7, and then your 4 chord is an A. And so this song starts by me just strumming the E chord, just to sort of set the pitch. And then I went into, which is the 5 chord. I like that when you start with tension and then you release the tension back to the 1 chord. It's a nice sort of thing. So let's take a look at that. So what I'm doing to get to that B7 chord is I'm playing the open. We're just going to walk it up on this 5th string. This is going to be like our little bass player note here. We're going to hit each of these twice. So it's the open 5th string, 1st fret, and then we're going to hit the 2nd fret, 5th string, but use your middle finger for that so that your fingers can fall into place to play this B7 chord like this. So it's like this. And when I strummed it, I went down, up. Now watch this. Notice what's going on there with my middle finger. This is why I'm calling it country blues, because it's got this kind of country bass line. And what I'm doing for that is I'm holding the chord down, but I'm playing on the 2nd fret, I'm playing string 5, 6, 5, and notice my middle finger just kind of jumps between the 5th string and the 6th string. Now in between those, I'm doing that down-up strum. So it's like this, down, down, up, down. So you may want to just practice doing that just to kind of get that kind of cadence and get the vibe going first. Now watch this. Now I did that to get back to the E chord. I love that. That's a kind of a Waylon Jennings, Good Old Boys, you know that song, Dukes of Hazzard. That's what it sounds like to me anyway. That's probably where I got the idea. So what I'm doing is I'm playing the 3rd fret, 3rd string, and I slide up to the 4th fret, downstroke with my pick, and then upstroke on the open 1 string. So did 2 of those, and then I slid down to the 2nd fret, and then I did a hammer-on from the open 3rd string to the 1st fret like that. So all together it's like, and then from there I'm going to hit the open 6th string and strum my E chord. So now that's all right. So here's your first little takeaway, is that lick idea. And what that is, that would be your E minor pentatonic scale, sliding up to this note. So think of your pattern 2 of your minor pentatonic scale for E, right here, or like the D shape, if we're thinking cage system. So I'm sliding up to that note, and then obviously your open E string, but that note would be in your minor pentatonic. That's how I'm thinking of it. It's like a minor pentatonic lick. Okay, so now that we're on the E part of the song, watch this. So what I'm doing is I'm doing this great little like turnaround lick. It's really like a blues turnaround, but I'm playing it backwards. I'm going up. So from this E up to this one, which would be like your E using that, like the D-shaped triad there. But we're only on strings 3 and 1. So we start with that. That's out of your E chord, right? Just 3 and 1, strings 3 and 1. Now we're going to put both fingers into the 2nd fret on strings 3 and 1, and we're going to play 3, 1, 3, 1, and then we're going to play 3 and 1 together. So like this. So notice when I played strings 3 and 1 together, I picked on the 3rd string, I plucked with my ring finger on the 1st string. So it's like this. And then after that, I hit the open 6th string. So you can hear how it's starting to come together. We're already creating a little bit of a rhythm here. And then I strummed it. And what I'm playing for that is strings 3, the open B string, same note, and then this note, which is my 4th fret 1st string. So I just strummed it like that. So. Now watch this, we're gonna walk it back down. Now notice I changed fingering here, and I switched and I put my pinky and my ring finger on that same spot, 4th fret, strings 1 and 3, so that I can walk it down. And I'm just gonna walk it right back down, fret 4, 3, and 2, like this. So it's 3, 1, 3, 1, and then we're gonna play 3 and 1 together. And then the reason I switched fingers is so that I can just take these 2 fingers and come down and play my B7. Right? So now I'm in position to play that B7. So it's, and I can go back to that little bass line like we did before. All right, so now we're gonna stay on the B. Now watch this move. So we're staying on the B, we're just moving from this position down here up to here. Still a B chord, but now we went to the E chord shape. So where we were here, from this B that we played, first position B, when I played this, that would be strings 3 and 1 on the 4th fret, which we've already played, by the way. But just so you can kind of connect where this is in terms of chord shapes, here's my B chord using the A shape. Here's the top 3 strings of that. That would be like a B6 chord, right? So when I play this, that's just like a little chunk out of that chord shape. So I just went down 1 fret on that 3rd string and slid into it like that. Then I hit the 1st string. Now from here, I'm gonna take my middle finger and put it on the 3rd string, and watch this. I'm gonna slide my middle finger all the way up to the 8th fret on the 3rd string. And then I'm gonna put this bar down on the 7th fret so that I can hit the 1 string and the 6th string. So it's like this. The whole thing, it's actually a pretty easy move once you get it. And then I can play the chord. So let me do that again. Now notice my fingers went into place. So I've already got my middle finger. It was already in place. The only other finger I had to add was my ring finger to the 9th fret, 5th string. So actually that was how my fingers were. They were oriented like this. And then I just put my middle finger down and then into the chord. So a lot of this is just keeping the fluidity of it, keeping the cadence. Kind of screwed it up. Notice that, a little embellishment off that chord. And all I'm doing for that is adding my pinky to the 9th fret 1st string to give me a 9 chord sound. So that's like a B9. So and then a fun little blues lick to get out of that goes right into my E chord. Now let me show you that. So it starts with the open 1 string, upstroke on that, which is your E note. And then, so what we're doing is we're transitioning from the B back to the E. So all we're doing so far in this whole song chord-wise is just the 5 chord, which is your B7, and then the 1 chord, which is your E. We've just played off of those 2 chords. So after that upstroke, we're gonna put middle finger down on the 8th fret 2nd string, push it slightly sharp, and then index finger on the 7th fret 1st string like that. Okay, I'll explain these notes here in a minute. Then we're gonna go 9th fret 3rd string, and then we're gonna go down to the 6th fret, 9th fret 4th string. So it's like this. It's between the 9th fret and the 6th fret. And then we go back to that 9th fret 3rd string, hit your open 6th string for that E note, and then strum your E triad right here. Okay, so that E triad is in your E chord using the A shape. Okay, right? So you got that from the Cage system. So that's what that was. You don't always have to play it like this. You could just play the triad. And that's what I'm doing, just 1 finger, I'm just barring it. That's all I could really kind of get in there in terms of the timing. Right? I didn't even need to kind of come in and hit that 5th string. And the rest of that lick would be like E minor pentatonic scale, pattern 4. Or it would be like, you know, the minor pentatonic scale that lives inside of the A shape. All that. And this will be a great little bluesy takeaway lick when you've got one finger on that 7th fret 1st string and then one finger on that 8th fret 2nd string, like that. If you hit that and then you bend this 8th fret 2nd string a little bit, you've got Muddy Waters. I mean, it is like, that is just raw blues in the key of E, right? But just connect it to your minor pentatonic scale so that you can see where those notes are coming from. Now, that's all minor pentatonic scale. So that note is not in your minor pentatonic scale. That would be in your major scale or your major pentatonic scale. It'd be your 6th interval. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could have played the flat 7 note, which would be in your minor pentatonic. So I could have went, and that would have worked as well, right? You can hear how that colors it different. A little bluesier than that version. It's just really a matter of choice. And now the song is staying on the E chord, and what I played was, right? So that's our next lick. So this is just E major pentatonic scale, pattern 1. So it starts with 12th fret 1st string, and we come down to the 9th fret 1st string. And then the 12th fret 3rd string, which would be like your flat 3rd interval, like from your minor pentatonic scale. But then you go to the 3rd, which is here. So that would be your 9th fret 2nd string. This is just a lick. You can, for those of you that are like, what are you talking about with all these intervals? Just get the lick. Right? So, and connect it to your G shape or your major pentatonic scale pattern 1. You got that flat 3rd in there, it just blueses it up. So we have, now after that, I'm going to come down on this 9th fret and play the 3rd string, and then 11th fret 4th string, all in major pentatonic scale pattern 1. And then back to that 9th fret 3rd string, and then I can hit that open 6th string and play the E triad here. Again, that's out of your G shape. That's where my hand position is. Same triad that's in the A shape. They both share that little triad. And then watch this. I'm gonna walk it down to like an E7. Right, you can hear the flat 7. And all I'm doing is playing strings 2 and 3 on the 9th fret, 8th fret, down to the 7th fret. Now this is where the song is going to go to the A chord, which is our 4 chord. And to get to that A chord, I played just like that little walk down. So we're on the 2nd string. We do a hammer on between the 7th fret and the 8th fret, back to the 7th fret, down to the 5th fret. Now what I'm doing is I'm getting into position to play my A chord right here using the E shape from the Cage system. So that's my target, right? That's what I'm trying to get to. I'm just kind of working my way into that position. And that's how I did it. So after I hit that note, 7th fret 3rd string, I went ahead and barred on the 5th fret and then played the 3rd string, and I do a hammer on to the 6th fret. So now I'm making that A chord. And then when I hammer on, at the same time I hit the low 6th string like this. So both of those notes kind of happen at the same time. I'm not doing a very good job. There it is. So it's, and then I can play my A7. I actually played an A7 because I didn't put my pinky down like that. All right, so we're just playing off the A. Now the song goes back to the E. Watch this. That's that's kind of a country kind of sound. This is, you can see it's a kind of a good hybrid of some country licks, some sort of southern gospel, some blues. I love this. I use this all the time, this concept. What I'm doing is I'm really just playing this, which is like my E major scale. So it's a 5th fret, I'm on the 2nd string. We're gonna go 5th fret, 4th fret, 2nd fret, open B. So, but in addition to that, I'm playing the open E string on the open 1 string like this. And that to me has got a very country thing. A lot of those open strings ring out in country. And then I just get right back into position, play my E chord in 1st position. What I love about that is I use that all the time when I'm playing a blues or playing country. And there's an E chord in the song. You know you've got this major scale that runs across your 2nd string, and then you've got the drone string, which is your open 1 strings. You can do all kinds of cool stuff with that, like letting one note kind of drone out. Now, then I played my B7 chord. Then a little bluesy lick that goes between the major and the minor pentatonic scale like this. That's another awesome little takeaway lick. It's easy to do and it just sounds cool. And all I'm doing is I'm starting on the open 2nd string. We hammer onto the 2nd fret. And then we do the open 1st string. And then watch this. Actually, so I slid. It starts on the 3rd fret. Slide down to the 2nd fret, and then you pick the open 1 string. So it's like back to the 2nd fret, 2nd string, and then your open 1 string. You can take your hand off and hit your E chord. Now I use that or a variation of that all the time if I'm need these sort of 1st position E chord lick ideas. Look at this. I mean, I could go on and on with it. And then on that 2nd string, you can do the flat 7 with it. But it's all kind of the same principles where you're having 1 string sort of drone out. And then we go back to the B7 like this. Another fun little walk down to get to that B chord. So I start on the 2nd fret, slide up to the 4th fret on the 5th string, and then we hit the open 4th string, which is your D string. Those two sound terrible if you just do it like that, but when you do it in context, I mean, even that D note's probably just wrong, but somehow it's right. It's just wonky enough to work if you can keep the timing going. And then down to my B7 chord. And then a classic blues ending. And so for that, we're gonna go back to strings 3 and 1. This is how we started the song, remember? Same thing, but we're just gonna go backwards now. Or forwards, however you think of it. So I slide up to the 4th fret, 3rd string, and then I hit the 1st string, and I'm hybrid picking that. So I'm picking on the 3rd string, plucking with my ring finger on the 1st string. Slide that down, and then go down 1 more, and then pick, pluck. So it's like this. And then all the way down to here, which is my E chord, just strings 1 and 3 out of the E chord. So it goes like this. And then I hit that together, strings 3 and 1 together. And then I come down and hit the low E string. So it's like, And then watch this. Isn't that cool? Oh, this is so easy. I love this. Use this all the time too. So I'm starting with this minor pentatonic scale pattern 2, right, for E. So middle finger is on the 4th fret 3rd string, and then index finger is on the 3rd fret 2nd string. And we're gonna slide into that 4th fret like this, and then watch this. We're gonna play string 3, 2, 1. That open 1 string. We're gonna let that note drone out again. And then we're just gonna walk this down. It's super easy, watch. Walk it down again, and then back to your E chord. So, okay, but the cool thing is that's just the first time through. I've written a whole other part using the same chords, same structure, but with a whole different set of licks, mostly on lower strings to get a lot of that country. That kind of thing. So that's all in the part 2 video. So come join us. It's activemelody.com, and you just go to the weekly lessons page and check out EP583 if you'd like to check out that part 2 video and the tab for all of this. I hope you've enjoyed this. Leave a comment below and let me know if this has been helpful by revisiting the well, so to speak, and checking out an old lesson. I could do more of these. I got lots and lots of them. I've got kind of an endless supply of them at this point. It made it a lot easier for me this week because I didn't have to write, well, actually I did have to write the part 2 video. But anyway, it was still easier because the structure was kind of there. All right, we'll see you in the part 2 video.